And do you know why I am here? Do you have any idea why I am here? For? Entrepreneurship, okay. What else? How many of you actually know what entrepreneurship is? You can raise the hand, no worries. Okay. So few people who are aware of what entrepreneurship is. बाकी सबके लिए नया word है? No? You have heard about it? Yes. But don't know the exact meaning of it? What entrepreneurship is? Do you know means why the school has kept this session for you? I'll tell you. Have you heard about the term new education policy? You have heard about it? What's this? What's this term new education policy?
So that education policy has brought a big fruit for them because they won't be having 10th class board, I think.
Yeah, so that's what
so you should know at least you are the first batch.
आपके स्कूल में.
Yeah, you are the first batch. You are the first batch.
So I'll tell you.
Okay. Don't be so excited.
We'll not delve into आपकी 10th class की boards के ऊपर, right? So we'll try to decode first why this session was kept, because somewhere down the line the new education policy has played a keen role for you guys, that you guys are attending the session over here. Okay. Now new education policy was introduced in anyone? 5 guesses? Last year, okay. 2022, okay. 2020. We recently celebrated last year. So we recently celebrated the 3rd anniversary of the launch of new education policy. Now new education policy focuses on one skill, that is on one thing, that is they're trying to enhance your skill. Right? अभी तक क्या हो रहा था? You guys were getting some textbooks, right? And you were reading down the things out of them. You were cramming it down. And then when paper comes, you write down whatever you have crammed, and then you score the marks. But is it actually increasing your skill? Is it actually, means inculcating values in you? So new education policy is focusing on that one, right? So let us, means first understand that why education policy. So in whenever I take sessions, I keep it very simple. I take the help of means the video tools so that I board now. Second, I like to keep it interactive, right? Whatever language you feel comfortable in, English, Hindi, Punjabi, इसके अलावा लोकल language नहीं आती, ठीक है? But whatever language you feel comfortable in, feel comfortable to speak. Feel comfortable to speak your heart out. Whatever doubts you have in your mind, you can interact with me, because you get very few chances, when you interact with some industry persons. Talking about my background, I'll let you know. I am attached with the Startup Punjab. Startup Punjab का नाम सुना है? Punjab government का नाम सुना है? Punjab government has initiated one initiative under the Startup India program. You know what Startup India is? So we'll learn about all these terminologies in this session today. So Startup India has its own set of organization in Punjab also, which is known as Startup Punjab and Invest Punjab. So whatever startups we have in Punjab, they are on board with Startup Punjab organization. It's a government organization, right? And I am on board with it, right? Then you have heard about Niti Aayog, Ministry of Government, MHRD, right? So I am also on part with Niti Aayog. So I will be sharing with you the experiences which I am getting from the central government also, as well as from the Punjab government also, right? So let's first try to understand why there was a need that this new education policy strives to bring out the creative skills in it. Let's see. Yep.
Organizations to think differently about what it means to be an employee or a manager, and even what it means to actually work. There are 5 trends that are causing this evolution to happen. 5 trends that are forcing organizations to challenge everything they know about work. These 5 trends are globalization, mobility, millennials and changing demographics, new behaviors, and technology. Globalization is causing the world to become like one giant city. The language that you speak, the culture that you subscribe to, the currency that you transact in, and where you are physically located are all starting to matter much less. This means that organizations can tap into talent anywhere in the world. Mobility is allowing us to stay connected to people and information anytime, anywhere, and on any device. This means that work is no longer a place you go to. It's something that you carry with you in your pocket wherever you are. Millennials are expected to comprise 50% of the workforce by 2020 and 75% of the workforce by 2025. Millennials are digital natives that expect and want to work in ways that reflect the year we live in. Most people live in 2015, but work at companies that operate like they are in 1975. Although millennials are driving enormous organizational change, it's important to remember that the future employee is anyone that is changing their behavior and mindset to adapt to the changing workforce. This means it doesn't matter if that person is 22 or 62. New behaviors are rapidly entering our organizations. For example, we are all comfortable living a more public life. We share our thoughts in blogs, post reviews on Yelp, have our entire professional history on LinkedIn, share pictures on Instagram, rant on Twitter, and engage in open conversations on Facebook. In fact, virtually every aspect of business behavior has changed, including the way we share, communicate, collaborate, teach, learn, find information, access technology, and create content. This is forcing organizations to fundamentally rethink and reimagine the way we work. Technology such as big data, wearable devices, collaboration platforms, the Internet of Things, and cloud computing are enabling us to work in new ways while keeping us more engaged and productive. In the future of work, technology is the central nervous system of the organization that enables everything else to function. Together, these 5 trends combined with an unprecedented war for talent is forcing organizations to shift their mentality from creating a place where they assume employees need to work there to creating an environment where employees want to work there. When we think about the future of work, the organizations that can most effectively make this shift from need to want are the ones who will be able to attract and retain top talent. This means that if your organization doesn't think about and plan for the future of work, then your organization will have no future.
So there was a term coming in the video. They were saying millennials. Great. And how many Gen Z are sitting over here? How many of you are Gen Z over here? Acha, tell me something. How many of you are born after 97? How many of you are born after 1997? All of you are born after 97? Right? कोई इससे पुराना तो नहीं है? With all due respect. So all the students, those who are born after 97, they are Gen Z people. Right? You all are Gen Z. Okay? First of all, give a huge round of applause for that young fellow. What's your good name? Sorry, what's your good name? Siddhant. Siddhant. Okay. He was aware about these terms. So see, when you go out in the market, there are certain terms which are spread across, like Gen Y, Gen Z, Millennials, और अभी एक नई term आई है, Gen Alpha, right? So these are the terminologies जो क्या करते हैं कि एक time period में, if the children are born between this particular time period, they term these children as Gen Z, Gen Y, and Alpha, right? Now why this is done? Because if you see the students, those who are born between, let's say, those who are Gen Z, they have a different mindset, they have a different approach towards the society, towards the study, right? आप लोगों में से chat GPT कौन use करता है? See, all of you are familiar with chat GPT, right? Now if I ask, आप में से last time creative essay किसने लिखा था अपने आप से? Without the use of chat GPT. tell me something very honestly. If given a chance, and if we tell you that you need to prepare a report submission, right, and you have 1 day with you, will you prefer using ChatGPT more, or will you prefer using your own mind and doing it? ChatGPT. Why? Because it's more convenient for you, right? It saves you time and it eases down. आपको efforts नहीं करने पड़ते, right? So Gen Z people, they are more, means technology savvy. They are more tech savvy, and that's why means there was a need to revamp the entire education policy. So means why education policy was revamped, because the new education policy is focusing on multidisciplinary approach, right? They let you study in your regional language also. Earlier what was happening? All your textbooks are in English except for the English subject, right? But new education policy gives you the freedom whereby you can even study in your regional language also. So what's happening here? The government is trying to promote diversity, and they are trying to means make education easy and accessible for all the parts of the community, irrespective whether he's coming from higher strata or from the lower strata of the society, right? And the main thing is the technology in education. Now, why there was a need to embed technology in education? Shark Tank India देखा सबने? Yes. Right? What happened after Shark Tank India? There was a swarm of startups. हर कोई startup करना चाहता है. How many of you actually want to do a startup? Right? Somewhere you got inspired from the fascinations कि हाँ देखो हम startup करेंगे, right? They drive a Ferrari somewhere and आराम से ऐश करेंगे, गोवा जाएंगे, पार्टी करेंगे, right? But do you know exactly the struggles an entrepreneur goes through? Before he actually realizes this kind of a dream, he hustles each and every day. Let me show you. So I'll show you that video also. We have a small venture. Okay. Who else? Yes. We have a small business of? Okay, raising up. See, so all of you are studying also. What's your school time? 9 to 2? 7 to 2:30, right? So you come to the school from 7 to 2:30. After that, you go out in your own ventures, from where you try to earn out certain money. So you are directly or indirectly contributing to that term, which is gig economy. Right? Now, what is that gig economy? Let's understand that.
For years, the norm for a job has been permanent full or part-time employment. But recently, more and more people are beginning to take on a variety of short-term jobs, also known as gigs. These include things like freelancing, temp jobs, jobs in the sharing economy, and more. All of these different jobs form something called the gig economy. The gig economy is beginning to take up a larger portion of the workforce, and studies show no sign of it slowing down. This is partially due to the evolution of technology. Companies are now able to hire workers anywhere in the world who can then easily telecommute and work remotely for them. Mobile apps have allowed businesses like Uber and Airbnb to grow an enormous amount of contract workers. And social media has given people the ability to market themselves and sell their products and services at a much cheaper cost than traditional
All of those who were earning, you are doing some more
It's hard to say exactly how the rise of the gig economy will affect and change the future of the job market, but we do know that both companies and workers will need to continue to adapt to it.
So what is happening out there? See, so what is happening out there? You have, means the Gen Z persons, they are more inclined towards working in a flexible working environment. You know what's happening? The companies out there, they are changing their organization structures to accommodate you guys now, because the way you guys think, the way you have your perception towards the work, the organizations are shifting their terms. Similarly, this has given a rise to one thing which is known as the new form of employment, and one of them is the entrepreneurs. Right? Now, when we talk about entrepreneurs सुन के आपके मन में क्या आता होगा? Name startup. Name any famous entrepreneur. Ashneer Grover, okay. Amar Gupta, okay. Who is the founder of this school? Who is the founder of this school? Ati Mittal. Is he an entrepreneur? No, ठीक है. But I'm asking if he is an entrepreneur or not. How many of you think that he is an entrepreneur? Why? How many of you think that he is not an entrepreneur? Why? Sorry? I said he is. Okay. मान दिया.
आपका कोई है?
मेरा सोचने की संस्कार है. I'll give you after this. See, you know what Ati Mittal did for the country? किसी ने एयरटेल बोला था यहाँ पे? एयरटेल क्या है? वाईफाई नहीं है. What is Airtel? They are into network. They are into telecommunication. Yeah, digital India. So, I don't know means if you have seen it or not, but you know India में टेलीफोन कौन लेके आया था? वो जो टाइप करके वो मारते थे, देखा किसी ने? वो हमारे मित्तल सर लेके आए. Right? He revolutionized. Give him the order. Then अपना पेट्रोल फूक के फिर वापस आओगे, and then eat that food. So there was a need in the society, which you know means. So there was a need in the market out there, due to which you know means that Zomato was introduced. Right? How many of you? Right? So right now it's easy for you to book a cab and go anywhere. Earlier was it easy for you? It was not. Earlier you used to wait for hours in the means hot and scorching sun just to get a taxi out there. But right now you can use Uber just by sitting at your home. So see, all these entrepreneurs, all these big ventures, what they did, they identified this problem of the society, the need of the society, and with innovation and technology, they brought the solutions out. Right? But we say that all that glitters is not gold. Let me show you something. Very seriously. Yes, there was a problem out there. See, problems are like this. They are around you everywhere, right? But what do general people do? They simply ignore that problem. There was a pond of water over there. पर्सन क्या कर रहे थे, आ रहे थे, कोई इसके बीच में से जा रहा है, कोई साइड में से निकल रहा है. But then came a little boy. What he did? He found out the solution for that problem. Right? Did he use his own resources? No. He used the resources which was already available out there. Right? And he gave the minimalistic solution to that problem. And now this problem, this solution, it becomes, it's easy accessible for all the commuters, those who pass from here. ऐसे ही होता है. When you even try to cross the road, you feel that okay, there are some bricks lying down. आप उसी के ऊपर से चले जाते हैं. Until unless you have that urge to get some splash on your feet. So this is, means who an entrepreneur is. This is what an entrepreneur does, right? So entrepreneur is the person who establishes his own business or industrialization with the view of making profit, but they don't see the risk, they see the reward. Now this term is very much important over here. When we say that the entrepreneurs don't see risk, they see the reward, because the entrepreneurs are the persons who are the risk takers. But see how
they say things like, I can't be like them. What they tell them? What most don't see is what they've overcome. All the struggles, the daily rejections, the heartaches, the betrayals, the rumors, the criticism, the abandonment, and all those lonely nights while trying to make their vision a reality. You see, the only difference between the one who quits and the one who doesn't is that they showed up every day. They worked hard every day. They hustled every day. They learned from a proven mentor every day. They improved every day. They did all this even though they felt like quitting every day. And eventually, they became who they are today. Most people.
So you see, in order to be the entrepreneur, you need to always be consistent. Number one, you need to always, means believe in yourself. So you need to always hustle. You need to believe in yourself. Number one. Moreover, the only thing that you should always be that you should have a never give up attitude. Right? These are few of the traits of an entrepreneur. Now, some people say that entrepreneurs are born. But means what we believe, what we preach, that if you can, means develop these traits within you, if you are creative enough, you are self-motivated, you are optimistic, you are future-oriented, you are flexible, and you are adventurous, then you can be an entrepreneur. There is no force that can stop you from being an entrepreneur. But you know what? Which even stop you from being an entrepreneur?
I'm here to talk about success.
Who is he?
The
Is he an
first rule of
entrepreneur?
success is to have a vision.
No.
You see,
no.
if you don't have a vision of where you go, if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. I mean, as you know, I was born in 1947 in Austria after the Second World War. So I was very fortunate that I stumbled onto my vision. And I didn't really like Austria when I grew up. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I couldn't see myself becoming a farmer or a worker in a factory or anything like that. Even though my parents wanted me to stay there and have a normal life. But that was their vision, not mine. My vision was totally different. I felt that I was born for something special, for something unique, for something big. And one day I went to school, I remember I was 11 years old, and they showed a documentary about America. There they showed this documentary, the huge skyscrapers, the high-rises, the huge bridges, the 6-lane freeways. And all of this stuff, I said to myself, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be around here in these little farmhouses and these little buildings. I want to be in America. One day after school, I walked by a store in Graz. So I went inside and I looked around, and then I saw a magazine. It's a bodybuilding magazine that had French Park on the cover. French Park was then a 3-time Mr. Universe. And I saw him on the big screen as Hercules. I read that and I said to myself, wow, this is the blueprint of my life. This is exactly what I want to do. I want to become a bodybuilding champion just like French Park. I want to get into movies just like French Park. And I want to make millions of dollars and be rich and famous just like French Park. Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going. That I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion just like him. So it was just a question of how do you do it? I was so relieved because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they said, why is it that you're working out so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face. And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for gold. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal, to make this goal, this vision turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this goal into reality. So I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound squat. I couldn't wait to do another 500-pound bench press. I couldn't wait to do another 2,000 reps of sit-ups. I couldn't wait for the next exercise. At the age of 20, I went to London and I won the Mr. Universe contest as the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And it was because I had a goal. So let me tell you something, visualizing a goal and going after it makes it fun. You've got to have a purpose no matter what you do in life. You've got to have a purpose.
So this is
I'm here to
very
talk
much
about success.
If you want to do something, if you want to build up your startup, if you want to build an entrepreneurship venture out of you, you need to have a goal, you need to have a purpose of it. Right? Until and unless you are not decided that, okay, this is what I want to do. Many of us, what we do, we just get fascinated by the world around the startup and we jump into that pit without realizing that how hard that pit is and how much hard work we need to do. All the successful persons out there you see, they have put in their blood and sweat in order to achieve the position where they are today. Right? Similarly, you also need to, like, if you say that, okay, I want to establish, maybe you say a food business. So you have a goal set up and you are working towards that goal only. You have a vision set up in front of you and you are working towards that vision. And you know, this industry, this Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, in short term we call it as DPIIT, right? This ministry is solely responsible for regulating all the startups in India, and it's the Ministry of Commerce and Industries initiative. They say that startup means an entity incorporated or registered in India, number one. Number two, the annual turnover not exceeding 25 crores in any preceding financial year. Even if you have a zero annual turnover, but you are registered with DPIIT, you can term your venture as the startup. Right? But the third line is very much important. That is working towards innovation, development or improvement of products or process or services. Why this is important? Because if you are actually working towards developing something which is already existing, or you are trying to bring up something new for the society, that means that you are termed as a startup. There is a very thin line between startup and a business person, right? So, if you want to ask that how we actually start a startup, so it's a simple process whereby, you know, what you do, you first try to identify that what is missing in the world out there, right? Then you make a prototype of it. Do you know what a prototype is? Right? What is a prototype? A sample. A smaller version of it.
Sir, it's a product in its early development stage.
It's a product in its early development stage. Who else? And you know means how you can develop the prototypes? You don't need, means fancy equipment to make a prototype. You can even draw a product in your sketch code, right? Or there's a terminology in engineering, we call it as wireframe. So there are softwares out there. You can, prepare a version, a 3D version of your product, of your service in that software. You can wireframe it, right? How many of you have seen the trailer of that movie, Sonic the Hedgehog? Have you seen the first trailer which was announced?
Yes.
You have seen, right? What happened during that time?
The people didn't like the design.
The people did not like the design, right? And then the makers of that film they came up with this statement that this was just the prototype of the actual product that we are coming out. Now, why do we make prototypes?
To give people a sample of what
Yes, to give people a sample of the actual product which is going to come out or roll out in the market. But when people do not like that, what happens? People actually criticize those products. They give their feedback, right? Then the actual makers of that product, they try to revamp certain things and then they re-release it so that the people can accept it. What happened with the Sonic re-released version? It minted out money like anything, right? But what happens when you actually don't listen out to people? It's your product fails miserably. The latest example, if I talk about in Indian cinema, that is of the Ati Priye. You have seen that? Yes, right? Similarly, every business or every startup, they also have a certain life cycle attached to it. The first stage is ideation. What is ideation? Ideation is the stage where you actually think of the problem. You remember that short video? Right? So he saw the problem which was a pool of water out there. Then he got an idea that okay, if I keep certain bricks out there, maybe I'll get a solution to it. So the second stage is validation. Validation is that you got the prototype out in the market and that prototype is well accepted by the audience out there. They say, they give their approval that yes, this product is accepted and we are ready to buy this product. The second is early traction. Now early traction is that okay, you have offered the service to the product and you are making huge money out of it. Your sales are rising there, they are skyrocketing and everything. And the last stage is growth and exit. You have reached the pinnacle of your business. Now you can either go into the IPOs and exit from the venture. You know what IPOs are? IPOs are that you list your company into the stock market by offering shares to the public out there. Okay? This I have already told you. Now see, there are several government schemes which are there to support the startups, but I'm not going to bore you down with all these things. Let's jump out into innovation. Now what is innovation? Can anyone tell? What is innovation?
Sir, innovation is when you implement an idea that no one has implemented out of your idea.
Okay.
Thinking outside the box.
Outside the box. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone from this side? What is innovation? Creating something different. Let's check it out what innovation is. Have you seen this? This was a very famous ad, right, during our time. It used to air on the TV, right? And you know why this was famous? Because of one thing, which is this innovation mindset. See what happened in the tab. There were two persons out there, right? One person saw the opportunity of innovation, he took it and he evolved, right? And ultimately, he grew more smart and more intelligent. So means if you are into entrepreneurship venture, you also require to be innovative. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You will be shunned out from the market like anything, right? See, now this thing I already saw, means few minutes back, and I'm pretty much sure that you all are aware of it.
GPT-4 is the latest AI system from OpenAI, the lab that created DALL-E.
Just a second. You were using ChatGPT? Which version you were using? 3.5. What's the latest version? GPT-4. What are the innovations in that? It's more accurate and? Sorry? Latest information. What else? It's a bit slower, okay.
It's no longer free.
It's no longer free, okay. But you know what exactly the OpenAI, who's backing up the OpenAI? Microsoft. Who said it? Good. So Microsoft is actually backing up the OpenAI, right? And there are two famous products from this company. One is ChatGPT, the second one is DALL-E. Yes. But there was a need. Now in ChatGPT 3.5, what you can do? You can simply instruct the GPT that okay, I want to do this, and it will give you a solution out of it. Right? What DALL-E does? DALL-E helps you create images, right? Go through mid journeys and all those things. But what GPT-4 has done? It's better in understanding, yes.
So it can do like what DALL-E did. It would make images. It now for what it can make videos. Like if I want to make a whole video out of something, it can do that also. It can talk to me in emotion.
Yes.
So I saw a video in which a YouTuber instructed it's a very good command that it was able to even generate videos clearly. And I also want to point out that in some tests, like biology based, GPT 3.5 scored significantly higher than GPT 4. So GPT 4 is recommended in physical for so like if you type in the code of Python on ChatGPT 3.5, code word, then if you type in Python code from code, and you can like addition, give it many steps. After that, it will give you wrong answer. But ChatGPT will follow that and calculate the codes and
So see, I'll show you one thing over here. That's gonna brief you down that how GPT 3.5 got evolved into GPT-4. What are the additions into it, and how it's gonna revolutionize, and what can you expect from GPT-5, which is also gonna come soon.
Filled with piranhas, and it'll give you something useful. It can also read, analyze, or generate up to 25,000 words of text. It can write code in all major programming languages, and it understands images as input and can reason with them in sophisticated ways. Most importantly, after we created GPT-4, we spent months making it safer and more aligned with how people want to use it. The methods we've developed to continuously improve GPT-4 will help us as we work towards AI systems that will empower us all.
There was an article, I don't know how many of you are aware of it or not, but there was an article out there which said that is it very difficult, it is going to be very difficult to sustain the OpenAI company. Why so? Because it takes approximately 5 crores, means to manage the company for just 1 day. That's the, means power of data which that company is getting. Now this was GPT, which means everyone is aware of. Prior to, means this GPT was viral, there was one more term which Facebook made viral. Metaverse. You are aware of this term, Meta?
Yes.
Right? Do you know what Meta is doing out there? They are trying to, means embed the power of AR, VR, blockchain into a single dimension out there. And many big companies, they are actually entering into Meta. How many of you are trading in NFTs? How many? There was a person who was saying that I am doing some certain NFTs. You are doing? Can you please tell your friends out there what are you doing from these NFTs?
Sir, I basically make an NFT out of I basically make an NFT out of my drawing, and because it's made by me, so no copyright.
No copyright.
And then I put it up to sale.
See what's happening out there with the this meta term exists from 1980s, right? But who's the founder of Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. He made it famous because he immediately changed the company's name from Facebook to Meta, and then entire world got crazy that okay, this is what I'm doing, right? Now big companies, they are actually entering into this metaverse and they are offering so much to the society that you can actually buy the products by just sitting at your home with the help of Meta. Probably girls over here, they might be knowing that brand better than boys. There's a company by the name of H&M, right? How many girls know them? I told you. Everyone. So means what H&M has done? H&M has opened up its first Meta shopping experience for the persons, for the people out there. And this is how you can actually, means shop out in the H&M store. So you just put on the VR glass, right? And that augmented reality walks you down through the entire showroom. You can see how many, means what kind of new products are launched by the H&M. You can try it out, and if you feel it that okay, this product I want to buy it, you can buy it then and there itself, without even stepping a single foot out of the home. Right? And why this is, means I'm showing it to you because these all are innovations which the entrepreneurs are doing out there. Right? Gone are the days when entrepreneurs were focusing upon the means other issues, but now they're trying to innovate the products out there. Now they're trying to innovate the services out there. Whenever I take a session, means one thing, this one video, I show it everywhere. Right? His name is Annadurai. How many of you are aware of it? You know who Annadurai is? I'll tell you. Annadurai is a person, he's an auto rickshaw driver from Chennai. He did some innovations in his auto, and with that innovation, now he gets a waiting period of nearly 6 months. If you want to ride in his auto, there is a waiting time of 6 months. And he gets invited by Harvard, by MIT, by all other, means big universities. He's TEDx speaker, and he is invited, even Anand Mahindra, he said that if I want my management team to learn something from any entrepreneur out there, then I'll invite Anand for that. Let me show you what he does.
Driver in Chennai. My auto inside is iPad Pro is available, laptop is there, and Samsung Galaxy Tab is there, and fridge inside is Aquafina water bottle, paper boat, and tender bottle, and petrol box is here, and inside free foods and snacks. And AWS Replex also available, and Amazon Echo Show, and Google Next Hub, and small TV, and Wi-Fi also available, and Swiping Vision, and customer relationship development markets is there, and Coconut Tree, magazine, newspaper, as my customers is my real card. That is, I'm able to eat only from the money I earn through my customers. This is accidental job only, so I didn't really choose this job, but I tried to do currently available job. That is the reason. Actually, I love that. So, auto fare is normal auto fare, so government provides you the same auto fare. Comparatively, other auto drivers same price. That is the reason. Before the service, I am waiting customers. Current scenario, customer waiting for me. That is the genius. The teachers also all take free service in my auto. It's like teacher job is world number one global service.
So this is, means what he has done. He actually innovated. He got innovation on his existing product, and that innovation increased his demand to a huge level, whereby people are now waiting to get a single ride in his auto, right? And he's just selling out the experience. Auto ride is an auto ride, right? But the experience, the feel that you get when you step down into his auto, that's something different, which is selling, right? So, it's we have come to the end of this session, but the key takeaway is be a lifelong learner, right? Embrace technology and be open to new opportunities. These three are the main key takeaways, and means whenever I close down a session, I like to give you, and I like to give every audience a single message also. So let me end the session by a single message video. Please do see this video very carefully. You're going to learn something out of it. So keep spreading happiness, right? Keep helping out people out there, because thank you so much. would like to connect with me, that's my details. You can connect with me through mobile also, through Facebook also, through Insta also, through LinkedIn also. Just Google my name anywhere and you'll find all the links. Okay. So, any questions or if you want to share something? Did you guys like the session? Yes. Did you learn something out of it? Yes.